Promise me you will never leave me, not even if I snore loudly like my uncle when he sleeps. Andrew laughed. I promise, even if you snore so loud that it wakes up the whole city. Joy then brought out a small, sharp blade from her pocket. If you are sure of what you just said, Andrew, then let's make a blood covenant. It means we will always be best friends, together forever, no matter what happens. If you are sure about your promise, then you won't be afraid of doing this. Joy smiled. It's easy. We put a little bit of our blood together to make the promise. She then pricked her finger with the blade. Andrew did the same. They pressed their fingers together, mixing their blood and placing their other hands on the tree. Forever together? Joy asked, her eyes shining. Forever together. Your pain is not just yours. It comes from a bond you made long ago, a blood covenant you made with a boy named Andrew. A long time ago, in the big busy city of Enugu, there were two best friends, Joy and Andrew. They did everything together. They played together, fetched water together, and shared secrets no one else knew. Andrew and Joy's friendship was true and noble. No foul play, no kisses, just deep discussions and occasional hugs when necessary. But these two were inseparable. People knew about their friendship. Even their parents knew about their closeness. But no one ever batted an eye at their friendship because it was very open. However, people often threw jokes at them that they would end up marrying each other. Andrew and Joy had a small secret place, a small garden with a tall tree hidden between tall buildings in their estate. It is adorned with green plants and flowers. They go there to spend some quality time talking about how they would achieve big things in life. One day, they went to their special secret place. After long conversations, Joy looked at Andrew with a big smile and said, Andrew, promise me you will never leave me, not even if I snore loudly like my uncle when he sleeps. Andrew laughed. I promise, even if you snore so loud that it wakes up the whole city, he replied. Joy then brought out a small, sharp blade from her pocket. The blade was half of the razor her mother left in their bathroom. If you are sure of what you just said, Andrew, then let's make a blood covenant. It means we will always be best friends, together forever, no matter what happens, she said. Andrew raised his eyebrow. Blood covenant? It's like you have been watching too many Nigerian movies, Andrew said, smiling. I'm serious, Joe. If you are sure about your promise, then you won't be afraid of doing this. Andrew, seeing that Joy was serious, became serious too. I meant every promise I made to you, and I will prove it to you, Joy. But I don't even know how to go about this blood covenant. Joy smiled. It's easy. We put a little bit of our blood together to make the promise. She then pricked her finger with the blade. Andrew did the same. They pressed their fingers together, mixing their blood and placing their other hands on the tree. Forever together? Joy asked, her eyes shining. Forever together, Andrew replied. For a moment, the city was quiet around them. No cars honking, no shouting, just two friends who promised to stay together forever. Joy smiled. So, if one of us wins the lottery, do we share the money too? Andrew laughed. Yes now. At least, You will finally buy me that nice car you always talk about. Joy poked him playfully. Deal, but you must remember our promise when you become rich. I don't think I will be rich. I'll still be me, broke and funny, Andrew joked. They both laughed, happy and full of hope. Little did they know that what they had just done was about to change their lives forever. After making their blood covenant, Joy and Andrew thought nothing could ever pull them apart. But then, something happened that neither of them could control. Joy's father got a new job in a different state, far away from the tall buildings and crowded streets they knew so well. One morning, the family woke early, packed their belongings into an old car, and left without saying goodbye to many friends. There were no mobile phones back then, so Joy had no way to tell Andrew where they were going. Sitting by the window, Joy watched the city shrink behind the car's dusty windows. Her heart felt heavy. I wish I could see Andrew one last time, she whispered to herself. Andrew, on learning that Joy had relocated, was very sad. He waited and waited, visiting their secret garden every day. He would sit beneath their special tree, hoping she might appear from the busy streets. Joy, where are you? He would ask the empty air. In the absence of mobile phones, their only hope was letters. Joy tried writing to Andrew, telling him about her new home, her new school, and how much she missed him. But the mail was slow, and sometimes the letters never arrived. Andrew waited at the mailbox every morning, his eyes scanning every envelope for her handwriting. Days stretched into weeks, weeks into months. Andrew's hope began to fade, and he wondered if Joy had forgotten their promise or maybe even disappeared forever. Joy felt lonely too. In the new city, everything was strange. The sounds, the smells, even the people. She tried making new friends, but her heart still belonged to the old neighborhood and to Andrew. One afternoon, she sat by the window of her new room and looked out at the distant hills. I wonder if Andrew is still thinking of me, she said softly. Meanwhile, back at Enugu, Andrew stumbled through school and life, his mind always wandering back to Joy. He even moved to a new city, hoping to leave the memory they shared behind him. But nothing felt the same without her. Sometimes, Andrew would sit at the balcony of his small apartment, staring at the stars and whispering, one day, we will find each other again. Though separated by miles, silence, and time, the blood covenant they made kept their hearts tied together. It was a promise, waiting patiently for the day fate would bring them back. Years passed, and life took Joy and Andrew on very different journeys. Both of them married other people, but happiness seemed to play hide and seek with them. Joy's marriage was like a never-ending comedy show. Even the jokes were sometimes sad. Her husband, Emeka, was a good man, but had two big problems. He could never find his keys, and his cooking was a disaster. One morning, Joy found Emeka standing in the kitchen with yet another burnt pot. What's burning again? She asked. Emeka waved the burnt pot. My famous charcoal soup. You are lucky I didn't set the house on fire. Joy snapped. When will you stop burning pots in this house? I just asked you to warm leftover food, and you turned it into a burnt offering. What is wrong with you? Do I have to keep buying new pots every week?" "Hey, baby, calm down," Emeka began. "It's just a pot. I'll soak it and wash it out. Or I will give you money to buy another one like I always do. I'm sorry I burnt the pot again. I will try to be more careful next time, okay?" "That's what you always say. I am tired of this pattern every time. I might as well ban you from entering the kitchen," Joy replied angrily. Then she walked out of the kitchen and sat down on the couch. Her heart was heavy to the point that she didn't know when she drifted into deep thinking. Their home was quiet, except for the arguments about money and the silence where children's laughter should have been. Emeka, her husband, was a good man, but she didn't know why she always picked on everything he did. When Emeka joined her in the living room, she snapped out of her thoughts. "Emeka, have you asked the doctor again?" Joy asked, after calming down. He sighed. "Yes, and no good news. Maybe the city just doesn't want us to be parents yet," Emeka replied. Joy nodded with tears in her eyes, but a smile on her lips. "Then I guess we'll keep trying, right?" Meanwhile, Andrew's marriage was like a stormy sea, full of waves and crashes. His wife, Okoma, was loud and fiery and never shy about telling Andrew when he messed up. One evening, after a long day, Andrew came home late, tired and hungry. "Where have you been?" Okoma demanded, hands on her hips. Andrew grinned. "Trying to win the lottery? No luck yet." Okoma rolled her eyes. "You keep coming home anytime you want, right? Anyway, I hope you ate food outside, because I will not go and be warming food for you at this time of the night." "So, because I came back home late, you will not serve me my food?" "It's alright. I'll go to bed on an empty stomach. I hope that makes you happy," Andrew said. Okoma hissed and walked back to the room, banging the door behind her. Their marriage had little laughter and many cracks. Bills piled up, rent was late, and the silence about their dream of having children grew louder. One night, after a fight about money, Andrew sat alone, staring at the broken sink he promised to fix weeks ago. "Why is life so hard?" he muttered. Both Joy and Andrew felt lost, not just in their marriages, but in their personal achievements. They were both trapped in lives that didn't match their childhood dreams. The city around them buzzed with stories of success and joy, but their homes felt empty. After many years of running around in the same cycle, Joy had had enough. The silence in her home, the constant worries, and the quiet ache for a child made every day feel like a mountain to climb. One afternoon, while sitting with her best friend Tola in a small restaurant, she finally opened up. "Tola," she said, stirring her drink absent-mindedly, "I feel stuck, like I'm carrying something I can't explain." Tola, always practical and sharp, nodded. "I know, Joy. I see the way you often look sad, but you always tell me that everything is fine each time I bring it up. You see, Joy, sometimes the problems we can't see need help from the things we don't understand. I know someone, my auntie's friend, a dibia. He's wise. People say he can see the roots of trouble even when the branches are hiding." Joy raised an eyebrow. "A dibia? Like those old stories? Exactly, Tola said, grinning. Only this one isn't in the stories. He's right here in the city. Here, Tola. Please tell me something else. Who is still going to a dibia in these modern times? I know you must be joking, Sha, Joy said, waving her hand dismissively. I'm serious. You need someone that can help you find answers to these questions plaguing you. Only then will you know the solution. This dibia in question has helped me and my husband when we were newly married and were always fighting over everything. I really want you to be happy and to smile genuinely for once. Please give it a try for me, okay? Tola said, smiling. After much persuasion from Tola, Joy agreed. That afternoon, they headed straight for the dibia. They walked through a quiet, dusty street lined with crumbling walls and colorful market stalls. At the end of the street stood a small, weathered house with smoke coming from its backyard. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of burning herbs and earth. The dibia was an old man with eyes like polished stones, sharp, bright and full of stories. Welcome, child, he said, his voice low and steady. Sit. Tell me what weighs on your mind. Joy shared her troubles, the emptiness in her home, the silent house, the dreams that slipped away like sand through her fingers. The dibia closed his eyes, breathing deeply. When he opened them, his gaze settled on Joy. Your pain is not just yours. It comes from a bond you made long ago, a blood covenant you made with a boy named Andrew. Joy's heart skipped. Andrew? But that was many years ago. I don't even know where he is. We lost touch years ago. The old man nodded. That bond still holds power. It binds your heart and blocks your blessings. But there is a way to find him. Joy leaned in, hope flickering. How? Return to the secret garden where your promise was made, the dibia said. Find the tree that watches over the city's whispers. There, your path will open and you will find Andrew again. Joy swallowed hard. But how will I even recognize him after all this time? Trust the blood and trust your heart. The dibia smiled kindly. The bond is stronger than distance and silence. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Andrew sat in a bright church filled with voices lifting hymns to the sky. The pastor, a man known for his booming voice and colorful robes, spotted Andrew sitting quietly near the back. After the church service, the pastor approached Andrew. Son, I see the weight you carry. Tell me, what troubles you? Andrew sighed. Pastor, life has been tough. I feel lost. My home is full of fights. Dreams feel far away, and I don't know why. The pastor looked at him with kind eyes. Sometimes our struggles are tied to promises made in our youth. Promises we don't remember, but which still hold us captive. Andrew blinked. You mean like childhood vows? Yes, the pastor said. You made a sacred promise with a girl named Joy. It's a bond that shapes your life. It's time to break free. Andrew frowned. Break free? How? Go back to the place where you sealed your promise, a garden hidden among the city's noise. Look for the old tree standing tall like a guardian. There, your journey to freedom begins. Andrew chuckled softly. You mean I should go back to Enugu? But it has been many years. I don't even know if the garden and the tree will still be there. The pastor smiled. Sometimes, faith is the greatest map we have. Go back to that place. You will find your answers. As Andrew left the church, the pastor called after him. Remember, Andrew, the bond is strong, but so is the hope. That night, both Joy and Andrew lay awake, their minds racing with new hope and strange fears. The city outside buzzed and roared, but inside their hearts, a quiet whisper grew louder, a promise waiting to be fulfilled. The following Monday, Joy left her state and made the journey back to where she spent her childhood years. Her heart was pounding as she walked through the narrow streets toward the secret garden. The Dibia's words echoed in her mind. Find the tree that watches over the city's whispers. She pushed open the rusty gate and stepped inside. The garden was smaller than she remembered. White plants tangled with weeds, and the old tree stood tall, its branches swaying gently like it was alive and watching. She looked around, breath-catching. Could Andrew really be here after all this time? Suddenly, from behind the tree, a voice called softly, "Joy?" She spun around, and there he was, looking almost the same, but taller and more good-looking. His eyes were wide, like he couldn't believe his own sight. "Andrew!" she gasped, running towards him for a warm embrace. Then she laughed nervously. "You are real! I thought you had become a ghost or something." Andrew grinned. "Ghosts don't wear sneakers, you know." They both laughed, the years of silence breaking with the sound of their joy. "Wow," Andrew said, scratching his head. "You still remember this place? It's like a jungle now." Joy poked a leaf that brushed her face. "Yes, a jungle that doesn't care about us." Andrew looked serious for a moment. "I missed you, Joy, more than I thought I could." Joy's eyes softened. "Me too. I tried writing letters, but who knows if you got any." Andrew shook his head, smiling. "I waited by the mailbox every day. Maybe the postman thought I was crazy." They both laughed again. Then Andrew looked around, a sly smile on his face. "So, you two got the message like I did?" "Yes, I was looking for answers. A lot of things have been happening, and I can't seem to explain them," Joy said. "The same thing is happening to me. Everything seems to be on hold. I try my hands at many things, but none of them work out. My marriage is also suffering. My wife was a sweet little angel before I married her, but now she seems like a totally different person. It's almost as if she's a stranger. I can't wait for things to work the way they ought to," Andrew said with a sigh. "Me too. But do you think the blood covenant is really why life has been so crazy?" Joy asked. Andrew shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe we just had really bad luck with everything about life. But I still remember your uncle's snoring joke," he said, chuckling. Joy rolled her eyes playfully. "And you promised not to run away. I waited for a reply to my letters and had to give up." Andrew stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I never stopped hoping, but I guess life had its own plans for us." Joy glanced at the tree, then back at Andrew. "So, how do we break this thing?" Andrew took her hand gently. I suggest we do it together, like when we made the covenant. Hand in hand, they circled the tree, their fingers intertwined tightly. The bark of the tree was rough beneath their palms, but the warmth of their touch spread like fire. "Let's say it," Andrew whispered. "We break the bonds that we made in our youth, forever apart, forever happy and thriving separately." Joy nodded, squeezing his hand as they said it together. For a moment, the city noise faded. The branches above rustled as if the tree itself sighed in relief. They stood there, hand in hand, feeling the weight of years lift from their hearts. The blood covenant was broken, and with it, a new chapter began. 2 days after they broke the blood covenant under the old tree, Joy woke up feeling lighter, as if a heavy cloud had lifted from her chest. She looked over at Emeka, still asleep with his mouth slightly open, and smiled. For the first time in years, hope was quietly growing inside her. Later that day, Joy and Emeka sat together in their kitchen. The air smelled of fresh akara and spicy stew Emeka had bravely attempted to cook, which surprisingly turned out good. "Emeka," Joy said, watching him nervously, "I feel different, like the house is warmer. Maybe, finally, things can be better." Emeka chuckled, scratching the back of his head. "You know, I was starting to think you would never say that. Maybe that tree really did some magic." Joy laughed. "Well, if it did, I'm ready to believe in a little magic." Weeks passed, and with each day, their home filled with more laughter, fewer fights, and even quiet moments of comfort. Then, one bright morning, Joy's doctor called her on the phone and said, "Congratulations, Joy, you are pregnant." Joy's eyes filled with tears. She dropped the phone and ran into the room where her husband was. "Emeka, we are going to have a baby." Emeka grabbed her hands, his own eyes shining. "What? A miracle? After all this time?" "Yes, after all this time," Joy said, sobbing tears of joy. Across the city, Andrew's life was changing too. The big contract he had dreamed of finally came true. A deal with the federal government that meant steady work and new hope. One evening, Andrew and his wife, Okoma, sat on their small balcony, the city lights shining around them. "Okoma," Andrew said softly, "things are looking up. The contract, it's just a start." She smiled and placed her hand on his arm. "And there's something else. I'm pregnant." Andrew's face lit up. "Really? Oh my God. Are you serious? This is the best news ever." Okoma laughed with tears in her eyes. "It looks like we are both getting our miracles," she said. A few days later, Joy's phone buzzed, and it was Andrew. "Joy!" Andrew's voice was full of warmth. "I can't believe how much has changed. Emeka and you, Okoma and me, we are finally free." Joy smiled. "It's like breaking that blood covenant unlocked everything. I want to tell everyone about the dangers of blood covenants, how they can trap you if you don't understand them." Andrew nodded. "Yes, we have to warn others. Some promises aren't meant to be kept forever, especially the ones made in childhood, without knowing what they truly mean." Joy laughed softly. "Who would have thought an old tree and a blood covenant could teach us so much. Andrew chuckled. Life is full of surprises, but now we have the chance to write a new story. They ended the call with each of them already planning how to share their story to help others avoid the same mistakes they made. As dawn broke, Joy looked out the window, feeling the warmth of the new day. Life had changed, and so had she. The blood covenant was broken, the chains were gone, and their futures were finally bright. Thank you so much for watching the story. Do you know about blood covenant? What horror stories did you hear about it? Do you know anyone that got involved in blood covenant? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell beside it so that you'll be notified each time I drop a new video. Until I come your way again soon, stay happy.